Right, good afternoon, everyone. Still number of people coming in, but we will get started anyway. So good afternoon. My name's Ashley Shorey Mills, Supply Chain Engagement Director at the Suffolk Chamber of Commerce. And thank you for joining us today. We've got our webinar with the team at Heathrow and hopefully get some fantastic insight into the supply chain opportunities that are available at the airport. So if I could have the next slide, please. Before we get started with the team from Heathrow, just a little reminder on the work that we do here at Suffolk Chamber and kind of our role within this. So next slide, please. So as a reminder, who are Suffolk Chamber supply chain team? Well, I mean, we're part of the Suffolk Chamber of Commerce, working on large scale projects such as Sizewell C now for a long time. I mean, 2012, it's been a number of years, but now more increasingly working on other projects and supporting other infrastructure environments across particularly Suffolk and the eastern region, but also now, as an example of today, stretching that beyond where there is opportunity for businesses in the east of England across the whole of the UK. We support, as many of you are today, signed up to our platforms, around 3,000 businesses, and now employing about 1.25 million people, which is a fantastic representation of the appetite of local and regional businesses to really get involved in these projects. And we are very proud to be the 6th largest chamber in the UK, hopefully able to facilitate things like this in the best way for everyone's benefit. Next slide, please. And the team, I know many of you will see these faces. There are 9 of us now in the Suffolk Chamber of Commerce supply chain team, myself and Emma, particularly Emma obviously was organised today alongside Heathrow with regards to looking at that wider benefits that we can get out of large scale opportunities and projects from across the UK. But we're there solely to work around the supply chain subject. Many of us, obviously, you'll be familiar with from our work on Sizewell C, but there to support you and help you understand the opportunities that are ahead. Next slide, please. And key for us, we have the ambition. We want to ensure that local and regional businesses have that visibility. That's the first and most important bit of feedback we get from businesses all the time, is how to increase that visibility of what the opportunities are, and importantly, how to access them. But our long-term ambitions are that driver for the East, that regional growth that we want to see, and to ensure that we're there as that go-to platform for people who need support, people who need guidance, understand where to access funding, or just simply, as I say, how to open up the opportunities that are ahead, be that in the energy sector, things like today in the transport sector, or across all parts of business that we can touch on from the east of England. Next slide, please. So as I say, there's a couple of key projects that we are solely working or prioritising our work on. Obviously, like I say, many of you will be aware of the work we're doing with Sizewell C, helping them to hit their commitments of 4.4 billion through the supply chain, through the construction of Sizewell C on the Suffolk coast. More recently, we've set up Suffolk Supply Chain, which is where the basis of today has come around really connecting Suffolk businesses with opportunities across the county, but now stretching that out across the wider east. And then we've also recently launched our Generate Energy supply chain platform in association with Suffolk, Norfolk and Essex County Councils, really looking at the inward investment opportunity that comes from the energy sector. And lots more exciting projects on the horizon that we will look forward to announcing in the near future. But things like today are a great example where we can bring businesses together, the many hundreds of you that have signed up for today, to be able to understand opportunities that are not a million miles away. Next slide, please. And importantly, how do we do that? Firstly, we have to do that engagement piece. That's working with you, but importantly, like today, working with the likes of Heathrow, their major partners, working with Sizewell, their major partners and others, of how we can create that local and regional supply chain that's sustainable and that's able to help these projects deliver on their commitments. We host various events, webinars like today, in-person events, roundtables, whatever is needed to enable and really convene those parties that need to be talking to one another. And of course, what is vitally important, as I said earlier, is not just having that awareness of where the opportunities are, but the awareness of the standards that are required. And I know Heathrow are very proactive in this area, and you'll hear a lot about it today, as to how they will support businesses in understanding these things, so that you're not just being told there is an opportunity, you're actually being told how to access that opportunity and the support that is available. And that then links in with us making sure that that funding and training that you need to be able to take advantage of those opportunities is readily available for you. Of course, we want to celebrate success. there's no point us doing all this if we then can't shout about the fact that we have had success and that we have local businesses working on these major infrastructure projects, working across the UK or maybe across the world. And so we always want to hear from you if any of the support the Chamber team has given has led and helped you take full advantage and maximise those opportunities. And of course, fundamentally, having those platforms, those central places of resource for you to be able to get access to and find the information that you need. And ultimately having that team, those 9 people, readily available for you so that you've got the ability to engage with people at any time to help you through this. Right, so next slide, and then it's the team from Heathrow. So what I will do at this point is I will hand over to Adam from Heathrow, who will outline a little bit of the purpose of today.
Thank you very much, Ashley. Yeah, it's great to have so many of you with us from Suffolk and the surrounding counties. Sorry, next slide, please. So yeah, to introduce the event, we do these reasonably regularly across the country. I'm going to start off with giving the introduction to Heathrow and our growth plan, and then I'll hand over to Chris and Isabelle from our procurement team, who will take you through supplier journey, responsible business foundations, and what we do with SMEs. Next slide, please. So this is an older infographic, but this gives an overview of Heathrow and kind of the size and scale that we are. So I know that in Suffolk, you've got Sizewell C, it's been mentioned on the call, creating an enormous supply chain across the county and the surrounding areas. But in terms of size and scale, there's very few kind of projects that can rival Sizewell, but I think Heathrow might be one of those. So last year, we welcomed a record-breaking 84 million passengers and processed well over £200 billion worth of trade, making us not only one of Europe's busiest airports, but the UK's largest port by value of trade. This requires an enormous logistical operation. Without wanting to tread on Isabelle and Chris's toes, we procure from over 1,100 businesses and spend over £2 billion each year as we maintain our work to maintain our position as the world's best connected airport and the UK's hub airport. Next slide, please. So, as I said, we work with over 1,100 businesses in the country. By the latest statistics, we believe that over 70% of those are SMEs. And last year, we spent over £235 million in the east of England, working directly with 85 different businesses and countless more who will be tier 2, tier 3 suppliers who might not be counted in our direct supply chain. This covered operational and capital expenditure, and we have plans to spend even more in the coming years. Sorry, next slide, please. So as you can see here, this is actually an old infographic from the year before last. We've had the 2025 statistics. That's where the 235 million came from. We haven't had those made up into infographics yet. But over the coming 5 years, our next regulatory window, we have a plan to spend £10 billion over 5 years, subject to regulatory approval, a doubling of our current capital expenditure, averaging about £2 billion a year. At the moment, it stands at just over £1 billion. And while we already boast a UK-wide supply chain, we're actively working to improve our engagement across the country as we look ahead to that increased investment. So I work in external affairs, which supports relationships with the business community and stakeholders across the country. These events are a really important part of that, getting to kind of meet with the business community in areas away from London and the southeast. 60% of the benefits from Heathrow expansion, for example, are expected to be away from London and the southeast. So my role in external affairs includes our annual investment impact report, which is due to be published in the next week or so. The report features some of the projects undertaken at Heathrow last year and provides an in-depth look at some of the businesses who helped make those projects happen. The purpose is to demonstrate how working with Heathrow can help a business learn, grow, and seek wider opportunities within the industry and beyond. And who knows, maybe a business on this call may feature in a future version of that report. Next slide, please. Thanks. So I've mentioned our 5-year business plan, but it's also a decisive time for Heathrow. I'm sure you'll have seen that we are looking towards expansion. Record passenger figures last year marked the 5th year of successive growth, and while we've been able to eke out those increases, this is not sustainable in the long term. If we're to truly ensure that we deliver for the UK's potential and for Heathrow's potential, we need to significantly expand the airport with a new runway, new terminals, and a modernisation of our existing central terminal area, all of which will significantly increase capacity by an estimated 50%. It's a project that will boost growth and help power the UK economy for decades to come. So, to conclude, the opportunities you hear about today are very much the beginning of a hugely exciting period to work with Heathrow. There are opportunities here now and in the future. So with that, I'll hand over to Isabel and Chris from our procurement team, who'll be able to talk you through those. Thank you.
Cheers. Thank you, Adam. Next slide, please. I suppose just quick introduction. So I'm Chris Pearce. I'm head of the portfolio and supplier management team here at Heathrow. And just a massive apology, I do need to shoot off at 1:45 for another meeting, but Isabel will still be on the call, and I'm happy to take any questions that anyone has that Isabel isn't able to answer. So from a sort of expanding Heathrow, so we are looking at creating a third runway. We're also looking to create a new terminal complex, and we're also looking to modernise T3 and extend T2. So that's the high level overview of what we're looking to do with potential expansion. Next slide, please. I'm just going to talk to you about the journey. So what does the procurement journey look like? So next slide, please. So just to give some people an insight in how we work and what we do, we segment all our suppliers into specific categories. So we have our critical and strategic suppliers. So they are normally larger suppliers that operate our business or are critical to how we work. We then have our operational suppliers. So they may look at sort of passenger services requirements, etc. So there are operational suppliers, and then we have quite a lot of routine suppliers, which is made up of mostly SMEs. Next slide, please. Awesome. So what we've tried to do is we've tried to map out the supplier journey. So what we hope this will do is give SMEs and smaller businesses a really good understanding of how we work and what they need to do. So phase one is around posting the opportunity, and we use something called Compete For to be able to do that. I'll talk a bit more about that later on. We then have phase two, which looks at our qualifying value criteria, which we call the QVC. This is basically built depending on what section that you fall under. So a strategic supplier has a lot more to complete, whereas a routine supplier and SMEs have a lot less to complete. But these are our minimum requirements that we need people to do. And if SMEs aren't currently able to deliver, there is a mechanism in the QVC to say, we can't do this at the moment, so it's a no, but we are prepared to work towards that whilst we're working with you. I'm not going to go into too much detail about the other phases, but we'll come on to that in a bit. So next slide, please. So a lot of the questions that we get asked is, where can we find or understand how Heathrow works? So we have a platform which we use, and we put all of our opportunities up there. But if you want more information around how to work with Heathrow, what we do, so we have a Doing Business with Heathrow website. You can download a supply guide, and then that talks about how you register for Compete For, which is where we put all of our opportunities up. And then once we've got a list of suppliers, we'll then start shortlisting and trying to put them through a tender process. So that's what we do for our market opportunity. So that's more phase one. Next slide, please. This just goes into a bit more detail about the Doing Business with Heathrow website. I've already mentioned the supply guide. It talks about the QVC and information and what that is. Sometimes we use purchase orders instead of contracts. So it talks about the purchase order T's and C's, so you can see what those requirements are. We have policies on there that we need people to comply to, as well as up and coming events and how to contact us if required. Next slide, please. So one thing that we do try and do in our selection process is we make sure that supply chain are in line with our own values, keeping everyone safe, doing the right thing, working together, treating everyone with respect and giving excellent service and improving every day. So again, if you're a strategic supplier, there's a lot more that you need to do to be able to get awarded a contract, whereas we tone it down as we go down that segmentation list. Next slide, please. So Compete For. So we launched Compete For in December 2022. It's where we do our market sounding. It's where we put all of our opportunities so that it's visible in the public domain. We also ask our strategic suppliers to put those opportunities up. So our strategic suppliers, I think we've got around 28 strategic suppliers. So this is where we award a major contract. They then need suppliers to support that, so they then contract to for second and third tier suppliers. So anything that is related to Heathrow, we have mandated to our strategic suppliers that they use Compete For as well. So if you can't get work directly with Heathrow, at least you can get work with our supply chain. The web address is below. I'm assuming the slides will go out, so you can click on all of these links. Next slide, please. So there's 2 pages that we maintain on Compete For. So one is the contract pipeline. So this is what's coming up, as well as an opportunities page. So what we're trying to do is give visibility in the public domain of what we're looking for and roughly when those events are coming up and what that value is. That then gets converted to an actual opportunity which you can apply for. So hopefully that gives visibility of what's coming up and what's open for you guys to apply for. Next slide. So it's really easy to get on Compete For. So effectively, you go onto the website, you register, it's free. You then get a login, and then once you've got a login, you then complete a questionnaire and then confirm that you're interested in that opportunity. Again, there is more information on the Doing Business for Heathrow website. You'll get alerts when similar activities are coming up for tender. So hopefully you don't miss anything once you've registered. So we recommend that you do that. Next slide, please. So just going into a bit more detail around the QVC and how it's designed, I have already spoken about this. So there is the QVC guide on the websites. It talks about our values and how you actually complete that process. It's a really easy step-by-step process. So what we've done is we've designed it so that you don't have to fill out loads of forms or questions. Most are yes, no, or I will try and do this whilst we are in contract. It aligns to our health and safety, well-being, security, cyber and sustainability requirements. It sounds a lot scarier than what it is. It is actually really quite simple the way it's been designed. Next slide, please. Going to play this video. I'm hoping that we've shared with sound. If we can click on the link, I'm hoping the video comes up to explain it better than me.
Thriving, sustainable and strategically aligned supply chain. A supply chain that will evolve with us. If we're to become an extraordinary airport fit for the future, we need a flow of new suppliers with fresh ideas as technologies and our needs change. We also need to keep the door open to new SMEs because we've made a commitment to put them at the heart of our supply chain. Even more important, we need our suppliers to be as committed to excellence and to our values as we are. So we've put together a list of the criteria a supplier must be able to perform to be successful at Heathrow. The list, known as our Qualifying Value Criteria, or QVC, is Heathrow's baseline supplier standard. The QVC fall into 3 categories that align with the foundations in our business strategy. They are the fundamental non-negotiables that drive success, growth and investment, while protecting Heathrow, an element of critical national infrastructure. 1. Safety, security and compliance. 2. Governance and financial resilience. 3. Service and operations. To find out whether potential suppliers meet the QVC, we ask them a series of yes-no questions. Our QVC questionnaire, developed and validated by subject matter experts within Heathrow, is an entry-level assessment that applicants must pass before they qualify for our supply chain. QVC integrate with our multi-stage procurement process. They are the forerunner to more detailed negotiations that follow. QVC ensure that new supply chain entrants align with our foundations from day one. Since suppliers differ in the way they operate and support Heathrow, from strategic partners to routine suppliers, we've structured our QVC questionnaires to be proportionate. Our approach also caters for organisations that are willing to commit to achieving the QVC over time. A current inability to meet them is no barrier to entry. New suppliers can be onboarded in ways that help them work towards the QVC. Our expectations are proportionate to the contribution our suppliers make and to the type of work they do. Applicants need only respond to the subset of QVC questions that apply to their industry and supply chain contribution. It's a transparent process that sets fair and appropriate standards across all types of supplier. Supplier responses, which we record, eventually become contractual QVC commitments to create accountability, alignment with our strategic goals, and a supply chain we can be proud of. The QVC help us meet our foundation requirements. They give us a standardized and more efficient approach to setting up a supply chain for success. The criteria is an essential component of our refreshed procurement strategy and a tool for becoming an extraordinary airport, fit for the future. They're one more step towards making every journey better, for all of us. To learn more about our procurement process, visit heathrow.com.
Brilliant, thank you. Next slide. Next slide. So I talked a little bit around our values. One thing that we do ask all suppliers that are working at Heathrow is that we're paying the London living wage. All of our suppliers make that commitment in the contract. That's a contractual requirement that they'll pay the London living wage if they are working and on site at Heathrow. Next slide. Fair payment codes. One thing that's really important to us, and we mandate this to all of our first tier suppliers, we want to make sure that everyone gets paid fairly and paid on time, and we also request that our first tier suppliers do that. We're all aiming for gold. We know that that's not always possible, but we do want to make sure that the minimum requirement is bronze and people are working up to that gold payment standard, which is set by the government. Next slide, please. Again, modern slavery. So within our requirements, there is modern slavery requirements around having the right policies and process, as well as using systems such as SEDEX, etc. Again, that level varies depending on what is being provided, etc. But we want to make sure that we protect individuals and organisations. Next slide, please. So I'm going to pass over to Isabelle now to talk about SME engagement and the stuff that we've pulled together. I'm not going to steal her thunder. I do have to leave in 20 minutes. So if there are questions that Isabelle can't answer, then I will respond accordingly. So thank you, everyone. Hope that was useful.
Thank you, Chris. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Isabelle Lui. I'm the supply chain manager of Heathrow. I work under Chris's team. So my team looks after how Heathrow as a business can better work with, support, and engage small and medium-sized enterprise. And to do that, we developed and are still developing a number of initiatives. That's what we're going to talk about today. Next slide, please. Cool. So at Heathrow, we aim for fostering a thriving supply chain. What does that mean for SMEs? We are mainly looking at 3 objectives. First is procure for value. We want to make sure when we make any procurement decisions, we not only decide on cost, we look at values that solution and products bring to us, as well as cost. So those values include environmental impact, social value, innovation, continuous improvement, etc., etc. And then the next one is about visible procurement opportunities. We do appreciate that to make our procurement opportunities visible probably is the first step for SMEs to be able to access opportunities. So that's the second one on our objective. And next one is innovation and startups. We're passionate about driving innovation in our supply chain, encourage innovation, and we do recognize that SMEs are the backbone of behind all those innovations. So we do have our program Heathrow Liftoff to support that objective. So under here, we have a few initiatives. First, balance scorecard is basically the mechanism we put in place to align our strategic objectives with our supply chain to make sure that our largest suppliers are moving towards the same direction as us. So under that, there are, I think it's around 17 matrix we look at, and you would be pleased to know that SME opportunities are one of the key matrix we're measuring our suppliers' performance against. Next one is compete for. I won't go further with this one because I think Chris has covered the details of it. And the next one, Heathrow Liftoff, as I mentioned, it's basically an innovation platform we create for innovative SMEs to pitch their products and services. In some of the later slides, I will go into a bit detail with this one. And then we also have SME Academy. Again, I will share with you a bit more detail of this one in later slides. And last but not least, SME Marketplace is again a very young initiative that we delivered one marketplace for, and we're currently developing the pipeline for. I'll cover it in a bit more detail again. And in center of all these, it's all about engagement. That's why we're here to meet with you and talk to you. And also we do support many local and regional events just to make sure to get our message out, to let more SME know there are the support there for you to receive. Next slide, please. Heathrow SME Academy, it's basically a learning and development support program for us to help SMEs understand a bit more of our procurement requirements, as well as developing your capabilities in meeting those requirements of large buyers like Heathrow. Chris has mentioned our QVC process, which is qualifying value criteria. In short form, it's basically the minimum requirement we have for any suppliers who want to work with us. And the motivation behind creating this SME Academy is that we recognize our minimum procurement requirements, although it's minimum, although it's proportionate to the size of services you're providing, but it could still be challenging and sometimes overwhelming for small organizations to even understand and to be able to know where to start. So that's how why we want to create this SME Academy. It's there to support any SMEs who want to understand more of how to work with large buyers like ourselves. Next slide, please. So this is what our SME Academy covers. So it's mainly two elements. First part is learning support workshops. Under those workshops, there are different categories. I do want to focus on the essential one, which are the ones mainly run by Heathrow internal team. Under there, you can see the modules such as carbon reporting, health and safety, cyber and data security. Those modules are designed 100% linked to our QVC requirements. So when we designed this program, what we have done is we kind of did a mapping of our minimum requirements, and we work out which could be the area that SMEs need most support from. And that's how we design our essential modules. We also offer some general business support modules, as well as some value-based modules supported by our external partners. The other element of our SME Academy is one-to-one mentor support program. So it covers, as you can see, it covers almost like exact same topic as our essential modules. So how it works is, if we move to next slide. Thank you. So how it works is SMEs need to complete all the essential modules to unlock the opportunity to be able to apply for our one-to-one mentor support. SME Academy is a very young program. We only just launched it in July last year, and we only just launched one cohort of one-to-one mentor support group. It was run from September last year to now for 6 months. So in 6 months period, SME will get the support from one of the expert mentors for 3 one-hour sessions, and it's between the mentors and mentees to agree on how they want to use the 3 sessions. And I do want to mention that all of our mentors for the mentor support program are volunteers from our supply chain. They're all senior experts or leaders from our supply chain who are willing to give their time in support SMEs, develop your business and develop your capability in meeting procurement requirements. Next slide, please. Yeah, I do want to take this opportunity to shout about our upcoming SME Academy workshop. So it's 2 half-day sessions based on Teams, so it's a virtual session. Please do use this QR code to register for those sessions. And once you complete those ones, as I mentioned, you will have the opportunity to apply for one-to-one mentor support as well. So that's really good one. And we look forward to seeing you there. Next slide, please. Cool. So now I want to move to talk about Liftoff. Liftoff is almost exactly 3 years old now. So we launched our very first Liftoff event in March 2023. It's a platform we create for innovative SMEs to pitch their products and services, not only to Heathrow, but also to our supply chain partners, and sometimes even include our retail partners, cargo partners, depending on the theme of the Liftoff event. So it runs on quarterly basis. Every quarter, we look at different themes, and then we go out to the market and advertise about this opportunity on Compete For platform as well. So if you are one of the innovative SMEs, I would recommend you to register on Compete For and watch out for upcoming challenges from Liftoff. Alongside the mainstream Liftoff, we also have what we call the Liftoff Learners Challenge. This is basically the same challenges we put in front of the SMEs. We put that in front of our college students as well, and then for them to be able to work on real world challenges. And we wanted to make sure this program is super inclusive. So we made it very clear with the colleges that the student group coming to present and taking part should be inclusive. So usually the student group is a mix of SEND and non-SEND students. So meaning that there are students with special educational needs in support of their early career development. Next slide, please. Here are just some figures of what we have achieved as outcome of Liftoff. So far, we've delivered 11 successful events. We've met with 75 participating SMEs. Majority of the SMEs has received meaningful follow-up after the event. That doesn't necessarily mean a contract opportunity or even a trial opportunity, but that means that majority of the SME had follow-up meetings or, for example, opportunities to demonstrate their products and services to wider audience after Liftoff as a support we provide to the SMEs. 8 trials has been made possible as a result of Liftoff. This need to be updated. I believe 6 of them has been proven successful, and 2 of them are still in progress. And then 3 SMEs has onboarded to Heathrow as our direct supplier as a result of Liftoff. and then 3 additional SMEs has on board to our supply chain, meaning that although they don't have direct contractual relationship with us, but they are working with one of our largest suppliers. Next slide, please. I won't go into the detail of this page, but this is just a few of the successful cases from liftoff. As you can see, it covers a wide range from health and safety, energy efficiency, food waste to sustainable furniture. So we are looking at different challenges the business have for each liftoff. Next slide, please. SME marketplace, and it's basically a fast track procurement process we create for low complexity and low risk services and minor works. It's the aim of the SME marketplace is we kind of cherry pick those suitable categories and products and services for SMEs to be able to compete for in a very efficient manner. So the benefit of it is it's time saving for both sides. It's for the SMEs, it's about visible opportunities again. So SME will have the opportunity to join a pre-approved supplier list and to be able to compete on that platform efficiently. It's easy to use, it's standardized and consistent. For us, it's about again, efficiency. It's also about value for money, visible opportunities. It's driving fair competition. And also for our management perspective, it's about enable data-driven category management. And for the SME marketplace, we launched a videographer and photographer marketplace last year, and we're currently working on a pipeline for this year and the next 18 months, and we'll be able to launch it externally shortly. So please do watch out the space. Again, the opportunity will be live on Compete For, so make sure you don't miss that out. Next slide, please. Cool. This is just an information page that include all the useful links that Chris and myself talked about, and there are 2 email addresses you can contact us for. So if any questions, so after the event, please feel free to drop a note to those accounts. I think that's all from me.
So just as a thank you on behalf of obviously the team at Heathrow and the team at Suffolk Chamber of Commerce, I think some of our colleagues from Stansted Airport are also on today. They are very keen that with their opportunities in the future that they potentially do something along these lines. So watch this space. Hopefully there could be something like this very soon for the team at Stansted as well. As I said right at the start, we're keen to bring opportunity from across the region in all its different guises. So yes, obviously keep engaged with the team as you always do, and we will see you all soon. But other than that, I'll say thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon, and we'll see you soon. Thank you.